What if I told you that a crisis, one that reveals something really deep about human nature, about group psychology, about our entire social fabric, what if I told you it all started with breakfast? Yeah, you heard me right. We're diving into a story so terrifying, so sugar-dusted, that some people in this town still can't even look at a sprinkle the same way. It's one of those moments that kind of makes you realize just how close we all are to, well, to the edge. So that's the big question we're going to tackle here. How on earth does a simple donut shortage nearly bring an entire town to its knees? It sounds absurd, right? But let's dig in and piece this whole crazy mystery together. All right, first things first, to really get why this all went so sideways, you have to understand this setting. We're talking about Maple Street, and this place, it was a community built on routine, like a super delicate system where everything was in this perfect, predictable balance. And right at the heart of that whole universe, a little, unassuming donut shop. Now, this wasn't just any donut shop. Oh no. This was the town square. It was the local newsroom, the social club, all rolled into one. And Hank, the guy who ran it, he wasn't so much a baker as he was a force of nature. The man basically argued flour into becoming food every morning. His shop was the engine that kept the whole town of Maple Street running like clockwork. And of course, every engine has its main parts, right? These were the regulars, a cast of characters you could set your watch by. You got Doreen, Mr. Pritchard, Calvin, but the one you really want to keep an eye on is Mrs. Gable. See, she treated her morning donut run with the seriousness of a Pentagon briefing, and trust me, she is about to become a very, very big problem. You know how they say every fire starts with just one spark? Well, for Maple Street, that spark wasn't some huge explosion or a big scandal. Nope. It was just a simple piece of paper taped to a glass door. And believe me, that was more than enough to burn the whole place down. That's it. That's the whole thing. Sorry, no donuts today. Supply truck delayed. Just a simple logistical note, right? A normal person sees this, thinks, "Aw man," and probably goes and gets a bagel or something. But the folks on Maple Street, let's just say they were not running on normal software that particular morning. And right away, we see the first little crack in the foundation of sanity. Doreen, one of the regulars, she sees the sign and she doesn't see a delayed truck. No, she sees an omen. She just whispers, "So it begins." And with those three little words, she fills that information vacuum with pure, unadulterated drama. Nobody knew what it was, but suddenly, everyone was very, very concerned. And this is a classic, right? In America, a sign that says truck delayed can often mean only one thing: a conspiracy is brewing. And this is where our star player, Mrs. Gable, really enters the scene. To her, truck delayed wasn't an explanation, it was a cover-up. And that tiny little seed of skepticism, that was all it took to turn a boring supply chain problem into a full-blown conspiracy theory. So once that seed of doubt was planted, man, it grew like a weed. It just shot up, choking out anything that looked remotely like a fact. The whole town started operating on a brand new and way more volatile currency: rumors. Get this, 7. By 9 a.m., just a couple hours after that sign went up, there were already 7 different competing theories flying around about the donut shortage. The demand for an explanation, any explanation at all, was through the roof. And these explanations were, well, they were creative. I'll give them that. Calvin was dead sure it was big oatmeal making a power play. Mr. Pritchard just kind of vaguely blamed inflation. But Mrs. Gable, oh, she knew the truth. Or at least what she decided was the truth. It was sabotage. Pure and simple. And here's where it gets really wild. Watch how fast she connects these totally imaginary dots. It goes like this. First, the donuts disappear. Then property values drop. Then the town council turns this into a dog park. I mean, by lunchtime, she had a complete theory that started with a missing cruller and ended with the entire town becoming a dog park. And the craziest part? People actually started nodding along. Like, yeah, I could see that happening. So what happens when normal systems break down? Well, new unofficial ones pop up to take their place. And by day 2, with still no donuts, the panic had created a golden opportunity. A brand new black market was born. And who steps up to fill the void? None other than Mr. Pritchard, the guy who swore he didn't eat jelly donuts. He saw the demand, he found a supply, and his business plan was simple, brutal, and frankly kind of brilliant.
He bought every single prepackaged donut at the gas station and cornered the market. Just like that, he became the town's one and only pastry kingpin. And just look at this. This is the economics of panic in a nutshell. A bag of, let's be honest, pretty mediocre gas station donuts that usually costs, what, $3, $4? He was selling them for $40. $40! And here's the kicker. People paid it. Willingly. That's what a totally manufactured crisis does to the value of something. Okay, so by day 3, this whole thing had gone way beyond a black market. It had become a full-blown civic emergency. The town actually called an emergency meeting, and this meeting was the chaotic, screaming climax of the whole affair. And the second that meeting started, the floodgates just burst open. People were not there to solve anything. They were there to yell. The grievances just started pouring out, each one more unhinged than the last. You had guys shouting like not having a donut for 72 hours was some kind of human rights violation. And this is maybe my favorite part. This is how you know things have gone completely off the rails. A woman stands up and yells, "My kid ate an apple yesterday and smiled. That's not normal." A kid enjoying a piece of fruit was now evidence of the crisis. Healthy behavior was suspicious. I mean, that's how far gone they were. Then, for a split second, a glimmer of hope. Some teenager literally just pulls out their phone, Googles it, and finds the actual boring reason. A road was being resurfaced nearby. A simple fact. But when you're deep into panic, a boring fact is no match for an exciting conspiracy. Mrs. Gable just shut it down with the ultimate comeback. That's what they want you to think. And the whole room just exploded in agreement. The conspiracy was just too much fun to let go. But, all fevers have to break eventually. And the end of this one wasn't some dramatic town council vote or some big investigation. It was quiet, simple. Honestly, it was pretty anticlimactic. Reality just decided to show up again. On the morning of day 4, there was a new sign on the door. No apology, no big explanation, just 2 words. Donuts are back. That's it. The supply truck finally got through, and Hank had been up all night doing what he does best. And in that single moment, the entire conspiracy just deflated. When Mrs. Gable was face to face with the tangible, undeniable, delicious reality of a fresh donut, her whole complicated web of theories just vanished. She took one bite, and you could see it on her face. Okay, that's real. The truth was just too good to deny. Turns out a really good donut can humble just about anyone. So what have we learned from the Great Donut Panic? Well, a few things. First, panic spreads way faster than facts. Second, you can create a black market for literally anything if people are scared enough. Third, town meetings are basically group therapy, just with worse acoustics. And maybe most importantly, sometimes the simplest, most real thing in the world is the best cure for crazy. And that brings us to the final question, the one I want you to think about. Every community, every office, heck, every family has a donut. That one small routine thing that holds it all together. The one thing that, if it suddenly disappeared, could send everything spiraling out of control. So, what's yours?